In this video, we're gonna take a look at Excel tables and learn everything you need to know, really. So let us look at what they are. So here I have a few data sets. For now, all of these data sets are regular ranges of data. To create a table, there are two ways. First, you need to click on a data set, and then click on Insert Table. Once you do that, you'll get a prompt, create a table. My table has headers referring to the top row in your data set, and click OK. So this is an Excel table. How do you know you are in an Excel table? If you click on one, you get the Table Design tab on the ribbon. This is where you can change the style, and you can do all of the other different things that you can do with Excel tables. For example, you can rename them. Tables are named automatically as Table 1, Table 2, Table 3. On the Table Design, Table Name, you type regions or whatever, and press Enter. Now this table is called Region. Now, if I click on this next one and create a table, there's something that I need to take care of. I have the grand total at the bottom. That is not necessary because tables allow you to turn on the totals row. So normally when you have a data set, you don't get the grand total row. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to delete everything, that yellow row. Then I'm going to click on my data set and create a table again, but I will do it in a different way. On the Home tab, Format as Table. That is basically the same thing as Insert a Table, but you can select the style you're interested in from the beginning. I'm going to select this one and create a table. Click OK. But notice the style is not what I selected, and if I choose a different style, then something strange is going on. That data set had prior formatting, which is called direct formatting. And if you have a direct formatting in your data set, the table style is not going to override that. But you can override it consciously. You just right-click on the style you're interested in, and then click Apply and Clear Formatting. And that will revert your table to the table style only formatting. And from now on, you can click on any one of these and select the style. The row below is directly formatted. It is not part of the table. If I type something below and press Enter, this row now is part of the table. Notice the table handle right here. It's expanding the table automatically, and it's a good behavior in most cases. Now, I'm going to create a table here also. Click on it, Insert Table, or Format as Table. And here you go. Now I have three tables, and I renamed only one of them, this one. It's called Regions. I'm going to rename this one also, Table Design, Table Name. I'm going to call it Products, and press Enter, press the Enter key, and I will rename this one. Instead of Table 3, I'm going to type States, and press Enter. Now we have three tables, and they have specific names since I renamed them. There's an interesting behavior that you should know about regarding Excel tables. One is under normal circumstances, if you are adding data below or to the right, the table is expanding. So if I type total here and press Enter, the table is including the column where I started working. And you already saw what happened when I tried to type this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Table Design and right-click on a table style and apply Clear Formatting again, so that the table style is consistent. Now tables have the total row if you go to the Table Design tab, you can turn on the total row. Now, the total row down below allows you to calculate some kind of totals. For example, I'm going to use sum for that one. That is why having the total data in your data set is counterproductive if you are using Excel tables. Another thing that you need to be aware of when you start building formulas in tables or referencing tables, you will observe interesting behavior. So if I type sum here and reference the 3 columns on the left-hand side, you see that the references are not the regular A1 style references, but instead they are what's called structured references. Instead of referencing specific cells, the formula is referencing the table called regions, and in that table, after the @ sign here, housekeeping and maintenance and so on, from housekeeping to maintenance, the column headings. So it is a structured way to reference data. If you press enter, the formula fills the entire column immediately. It also happens if you reference a table from outside. If I reference a cell in that table in the same row, then it will give me a structured reference. You can turn off the structured reference if you do not wish to use structured references. To do that, you would go to File, Options, and then you click on Formulas. And in the formulas, there's a tiny little check mark that is checked usually to allow to use table names in formulas. If I uncheck it, then creating formulas, I'm going to use sum here, it is reverting back to the direct A1 style references. Sometimes you do need structured references. In most cases, it's better if you use structured references, but sometimes people turn them off. I'm going to turn them back on. File, Options, Formulas, use table names in formulas, and click OK. So now back to the structured references. Tables allow all kinds of sorting. So here, if I click on any one of those buttons, it will give me the sort and filter tool. However, tables also take slicers. Let's take a look. Sorting, filtering, slicing. I have a larger data set here, and I'm going to insert a table and click OK. It's a good habit to rename tables, so I'm going to rename this one. I'm going to call it large data set. Notice I'm not leaving any spaces. Spaces are not allowed in names in Excel, at least for now. So what you can do, you can go to the table design and you can insert slicers. Slicers are more prominent when you work with pivot tables, but tables do take slicers. I'm going to click on insert slicer, and let's say I'm going to select the state province, shipped state province right here, and let me insert a slicer for ship name right here. So slicers are these graphical shape type objects that allow you to filter out your data set. If I click on one of these ship names, my data set is instantly filtered. So slicers, remember that slicers have their own contextual tab on the ribbon that allow you to set up all kinds of different things related to slicers. And you can clear filter, you can click on one and then turn on the multi-select and select a few more like that. You can clear it again. You can work with the state slicer and select multiple and so on. So slicers are available when you work with Excel tables. Now, a way to think about Excel tables is like a container, like a filing cabinet where you take your data and you structure it, you put it on different shelves and in different rows, different columns, and then you can reference that data set by the table name in a structured kind of way. And that is pretty much all you need to know in order to get started with Excel tables. I'll see you in the next video.